Hello everybody and welcome back to Hearts of Iron, where last episode we finally got our destroyers going, and that is great. So those are underway, and we're lacking a bit of chromium for that. We can probably get ourselves some steel and chromium. We will have to bump up our civilian factories. Ouch. That's gonna hurt a bit, but it's okay. Our economy is not necessarily the greatest in the world, but that's to be expected. We're playing Australia, and we have not fought anything. So that is completely normal. Completely normal. So we want to get our naval bombers and our naval fighters done soon enough. And we want to start working on our carriers. That will all be very important. So I think we're going to leave one... Yeah, we're going to leave one unit, or rather one research slot, working on our fighters here. And then we will have one working on hulls, and the other working on upgrades. I think that's the way we're going to do this. Cool. So we've got around 49 days here. This feels like it's... Wow. This is on speed 4? Okay, that's on speed 5 now. That's better. That's a lot better. It was real slow there for a bit on speed 4, but speed 5 is definitely an improvement. So that's good. We will continue to proceed here. The British Empire has supported Imperial loyalists. If left unopposed, their subversive activities may well culminate in a full-blown civil war. We must be on our toes. Okay, so what can we do about that? Suppress the imperialist uprising. Consider that done. Cool. So do we think that India is going to be able to hold this? I think not forever. But for now, they are. And I'd really love it if the US were able to push in over here. Sadly, they are not. Not yet, anyway. We'll see how that ends up going. Especially as Japan and Germany start to come into conflict with each other. That's what I'm really wanting to see happen. So we'll get that imperialist uprising suppressed. We're going to be done with smoke generators in 36 days here. So that's fine. And that's just a passive stat upgrade from what I can tell. There doesn't actually seem to be any part associated with that, so that's good. And we're going to have our radar done fairly soon here too. So we need to wrap up our radar research, of course. And that needs to happen before we get all of our... Or rather, before we get our carrier fully good to go. Which there are no part upgrades for the carrier specifically. So that's fine. There are some statistical upgrades here that we're definitely going to want. But that's in the not yet category. Okay. So we're going to finish up the CA-17 in 38 days here. That'll be great, and then we'll go for the CAC Kangaroo, and we'll grab the Firefly. So that'll be a few researches there, and then we're going to push down to the Barracuda into the Firebrand. That'll be the plan there. Naval fighters and bombers at level 3 is our goal. We're not really going to focus too much on jets. The manpower concern of jets is just too high. That was something we learned in the Brazil game, so we're not concerned about that for the moment. We might throw in a few jets here and there later on, but Fighter 3s are much more manpower efficient while being almost as stat efficient, so that'll be okay. Smoke generators finishing up in 16 days, and I think that we're going to go for carrier hulls, or rather just hulls in general, with this top slot here. We have a bunch of them that we need to finish up, of course. We need to grab 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 hulls in general. And most of these are somewhat lengthy researches, so that'll take some time. And then once we get done with the radar, this slot will be working on components. For the time being. And then this is our air slot, dedicated for air. Fantastic. Wait a second. Wait a second. There's something very wrong here. I'll give you a moment and see if you can see what it is. Have you figured it out yet? If you guessed it's the fact that we have 280 manpower, you're right. It's the 25th of August. Why do we have manpower? I said that I wasn't really going to question this in the last episode, but it happened again. I can already tell. Yeah, they're all full. I'm so confused. Is there a mechanic I'm not understanding here that we're just nailing? I don't know. We should not have this manpower, as far as I'm aware. Like, we're going to be banking manpower this month. That's insane. That means that we don't need any manpower right now. Now, to be fair, we did cancel our cruiser that had, I think... How much manpower was on that cruiser? Let's check here. We had the Canberra class cruiser. So that was this one here. 600 service manpower there. That should not have done it. It would have helped. But that should not have done it. Okay. Because, yeah, we're about to go up again here. Smoke generators finished up, and we definitely want to work on hulls. So we're going to start with carriers. There we go. Yeah, 561. We're just full on manpower and starting to bank it. Now, this manpower will go away once these researches finish up. Or, once these trainings finish up. But that's very confusing to me. But okay. I'm not going to look a gift horse in the mouth. This has netted us, like, probably 40,000 manpower, I think, since I've noticed. Something along those lines. I wonder how long this has been happening for. I don't know. Regardless, it does make things... I was going to say more possible, but it's really just easier. And maybe that's okay for now. We do get a Mustang there, and of course, we're going to continue working on the Kangaroo. There we go. For the time being, it doesn't really matter that much. It just means that our on-the-field army is bigger. It's not like we're going to be able to resupply them if it's just going into our training cadres, although we can game that, in theory. We're going to grab our last radar upgrade, and I'll show you what I was saying. Now, I'm going to make a save here, and we are going to revert back to this save, because I don't know if this is something I'm willing to actually do or not. But at this point, say that we need a solid 30,000 manpower to go into our armies. We reload the game. These are full. Then, we just cancel the production. We add 2 new units and cancel the production of these 2 units. Like so. We add a unit here, cancel the production of this unit. Boom. And now that went into... It did update and go into these. Okay. Well, in reality, we would do something like that, but not have these units remain here. So, yeah, this one just hasn't filled out yet. So that would get us 30,000 manpower, and then we'd save and reload. Or rather, we would allow that to distribute into the army. And then put these back in, save, reload, and just keep doing it. And that would be an exploit for infinite manpower. In theory, if I'm understanding what's happening here correctly. Now, I'm going to reload, because I don't want to actually do that. I don't think that that's really in the spirit of what I'm trying to do here. That feels pretty cheaty. I just wanted to point out that that's a thing that, based on what we're seeing here, I believe would be possible. Now, reloading there didn't generate us any new manpower. These are all already full. So that should be fine. In theory. Yeah, it's completely okay. So that's something that we can theoretically do if what we're seeing here is consistently reproducible. But I think it's something I will avoid doing, because I don't usually like to game things like that. That's an exploit that definitely feels unintended to me. Not like a skill expression thing, it's just, that's not how you're supposed to play the game. So we're probably not going to end up doing that, is my guess. We are working away on our anti-air systems, and that's completely fine. And we have a lot of modern tanks stockpiled, actually. That's pretty good. We are producing Nimrods currently, which is not good under any circumstances. So that's fine. We're going to get Kangaroos done soon. Actually, we may as well upgrade these and start producing some CA-17s. We can bump up the reliability and the range if we wanted to. We're not planning on keeping this around for very long, so I'm just going to build base level CA-17s here. And we're not going to have many of them by the time we're ready to go. I just want some slightly better Fighter 2s. Cool. And then we'll get our Fighter 3s and our Naval Fighter 3s. And here's my question. These are modified to launch from and land on aircraft carriers. Can they also operate out of regular air bases, or do we have to have two separate plane variants for that? That's something I'd like to figure out. I don't actually know that, and once we have access to the Fireflies, actually, we can figure that out right now. Let's hop over to here. We can add in Nimrods. Not enough service manpower to create this wing. Yeah, that's pretty obvious. I want to control-click to move 10. Okay, we have enough to create these 19. So they're deploying right now. Okay, so they've arrived. So it looks like they can deploy from air bases, but they have a pretty small range. Now, these are interwar carrier fighters. I'm guessing carrier fighters generally have a smaller range. And we're just going to get these out of here. There we go. I just wanted to make sure that you could deploy them to air bases, and it looks like you can. Now, I want to hop into our production here. And I want to compare... That's the interwar carrier fighter. Show outdated equipment. There we go. So I want to look at the interwar fighter. No, I don't want to make these. I want to look at the interwar fighter here. I want to look at its stats. Okay, range of 570 kilometers. Interwar carrier fighters range is 456 kilometers. So it is slightly shorter range. And then 8,945, 8,945, 1,210, 1,110. So the carrier fighter is slightly better at naval attack. And 330, 80, and 0.21. 297, 80, and 0.21. So the interwar carrier fighter is slightly better at naval attack. It's exactly as good at air superiority. And its combat stats are exactly the same. It is slightly slower with a slightly lower range. I think we'll be fine running primarily carrier equipment. If not exclusively carrier equipment for now. Cool. So that's great to know. Our carrier hull is going to be the next thing finishing up, and we have bases in very low supply. Where? I don't see any bases in very low supply here. Unless you're talking about this? We could definitely build a supply depot here. It's already queued up, but it's probably queued up at the bottom. Yeah, let's move that to the top. And let's see if that fixes it. I think it's because this guy is in this supply region here. Or rather, this area here. This red area. So we'll see how that goes. Cool. And we definitely had some attrition there. We can tell that by the fact that our manpower has dropped a bit. Okay, we can grab a naval doctrine, and for the moment, that might be okay to do. We'll take the floating airfield. There we go. And that puts our naval experience at 0, which is expected. That is fully expected, and it'll be a while before our carrier hulls are good to go here. So we'll let that go for a little bit. It'll be 53 days plus another, that's cruisers, 102. So that'll be a while yet. Cool. The kangaroos will be done in 97 days. And of course, we're going to need naval bombers as well. Now, as we finish up some of this construction, we're going to want to get rid of a few of these civilian factories and transition them over to military factories. For the time being, I'm content having them be as they are. We have a lot of constructions queued up for the moment. So that's okay. Let's take a look at the war. India's gotten pushed slightly. Otherwise, this is incredibly stagnant. There's like nothing going on. That's really, really good for us. We're very happy about that. 40 days on our carrier hull. Let's go. That will be absolutely fantastic once that finishes. Okay. So we've got an unassigned division down over here. We'll move that in to our border defense army for the time being. And you can see that our fuel is not great. That's for sure. Cool. Let's check in on our supply depot over here. It's not finished up yet. Okay. How long on that? Actually, a while yet. 2 January is when that'll be done. So that will take some time. That's fine. That will be done soon enough. About a month on our carrier hull. And the British Empire is still struggling to take Burma. What do they have for manpower right now? That's Burma. I wanted the British Empire. Thanks. 2 to 4 mil. Okay. Sounds good. Now, Japan, of course, in terms of their manpower, they're still up there. They've got about 2 million. So that's good for them. There's been some pushback over here. The Central Powers are really struggling to get anywhere else. Austria-Hungary, controlled by Poland. Okay, a little awkward there. Denmark is neutral. Interesting. So basically everything up here is neutral. Well, not Finland, but everything else is. Good to know. 14 days on that carrier hull. And that'll be done very, very soon here. Our radar will also be done in 20 days. So we're making great progress on this. And of course, after that, we're going to grab the carrier fighters. 23 days on that one, so that's incredibly quick. Beautiful. So, yeah, this is all going to be finishing up soon, and then we're going to be able to start producing our actual planes. And we're going to bump up their stats, for sure, as much as we can. I would love to spend some of this political power. We don't really have much that we can spend that on for the moment, which does make me sad. But the carrier hull is going to be finished up here in 2 days. So we're going to be able to get our carriers going as soon as we get the next hull finished. Beautiful. And we're lacking in dockyards right now, but we're going to bump down to 1 dockyard working on convoys. We don't need more than that. And we're going to put 4 dockyards. Well, it's honestly, I'm really going to want it to be 5. We're going to bump down to 4 dockyards working on destroyers for the time being. That does mean that we have more units of some things than we need, I think. Yes. We can back off on our steel order. Beautiful. Much better. That gives us another factory building. And there's our radar finishing. So that's all done for the moment. And we were going to have this start to work on upgrades. Okay. There are no upgrades for carriers. And we need the heavy ship hull if we want to get these armor schemes for our battleships. Okay. We could work on cruisers. Or we could just grab the early heavy ship hull for the time being. And then work on these afterwards. Alternatively, we could go down the submarine tree. Or we could work on some of these passive upgrades. Those are all options, but I'm going to grab the early heavy ship hull for right now. It will take 115 days to finish that up, which of course means that the next thing that we finish will be the Kangaroo, and then the thing after that will be the carrier fighter. So that's completely fine. No problem there. This war is super stalled out. And I love it. That's very, very good. There has been a little bit of progress over here by the North American Association, but they're probably going to get pushed out of that. We've seen that before a number of times. So that's great. It's about to be 1950. It's now 1950. We're in no hurry here, of course. And our manpower is all gone. We expect that because these are... Well, those 2 are full. This one's nowhere near full. Okay. When will these finish training? In 5 days, and in a little after that. Okay, I was thinking about maybe ending the episode before they finish so that we don't fill these. This one would still get filled if I'm understanding how this is working correctly. So that's very awkward. Okay. So obviously these don't get filled. Not yet, anyway. Not until I restart the game, it feels like. But I guess we'll see. How are we doing supplies-wise over here? This base is apparently in very low supply. We could consider upgrading our railroads. This is a level 2. This is level 3 up here, which is kind of pointless. We can bump these up to level 5 on this main thoroughfare here. Like that. And then this over here as well. Kind of like that. Cool. So these should be reasonably quick, I think. I'm assuming this is all 36 that are building at once here, right? Yes. Okay. That should be reasonably quick. Cool. So we'll get that underway here, and there is some awkwardness going on over here supplies-wise, but for the time being, that's okay. And it is about time to put a cut in here, so I'm going to go ahead and do that, and next episode, I guess we'll see if these are full again. We'll see how that goes, and then we'll decide how we want to handle that going forward, if that is indeed the way that it's working. You can leave your offerings to the engagement gods in the form of likes, comments, subscribes, and bell ringings, and a very special thank you to all of the channel members for making this video possible, including Casserole, Sigma162, JJ Gamer, Kentuin, Spartan News, Nick Smarty, Video Games Are Not Real, Dimitri H, Punching the Microphone, Kadra, Raw Potato, Elmichi Nazi, Justin Everett, Emiliano Cambrin, Martin Lawrence, and all the rest. And of course, you. Thank you for watching. If you'd like to support the channel, you can click the join button down below the video, and as always, I will see you all next time.